I remember my first men's chorus sleepover, I guess, the first concert stayover, and had a young kid that was in the family that was the host family, and he had a pet rat. And I woke up in the morning with the rat sitting on my chest, little beady eyes looking at me. First stop ever. Down to the river to pray.
There was one Florida tour that we did in tuxedos, our penguin suits, if you will, and in 90-degree weather, things don't work well on a hygienic level. So we were in Georgia, and we happened to get a host family of two elderly women, super nice women. They were seniors. They shared some stories with us about their family, and they were showing us a photo wall. And they were kind of running down memory lane with each of the photos with us, telling us who these people were. But in the end, the tie of all the photos was everyone that was on the wall. And I'm telling you, there was probably 25, 50 pictures. They were all dead. And it was kind of eerie, creepy, whatever you want to call it. So we thought it was kind of weird. And I thought, this is too much for me. So I'm going to bed. So I go back to bed, I take my tuxedo off, and I'm telling you, I had swamp crotch like you wouldn't believe. So I thought, okay, it's all good. I take my drawers off, I get everything off, and I'm telling you, I throw my legs up behind me. My ankles are up by my ears, and I am scratching the hell out of my crotch. And all of a sudden, I hear a knock on the door. The door opens, and this woman catches me mid-stroke on the old crotch region. And I look over, and she looks at me and says, you going to need an alarm? And I said, no. And then the legs go down, and she shuts the door, and I throw them back up, and I keep going. That's just one of the reasons that you lock the door behind you.
Sing hallelujah, amen. Sing hallelujah.
I can't remember what year it was, but I prepared the boys on a major work for men's voices called The Prodigal Son. This is a difficult piece of music. You have to have an accompanist that talks to angels, because it's a tough part. And I had such an accompanist, The Prodigal Son. It's a neat piece, it's a lot of work. But it talks about the son who was frustrated with doing all this work, and he wanted to have his inheritance, and he wanted to go to Babylon and live the life of a young rich man. So his father acquiesced and gave him his share of his inheritance. And we're singing this wonderful concert in front of a packed house. There were so many people, there was people sitting right next to my music stand. And my music stand, for those that know, is always down low. And I'm turning pages, and the guys are into this song that's going along real well, and I know the next thing is kind of testy, because it talks about the hot, sinning women of Babylon. When I turn the page, there in front of me, taped to my music, was a full picture of a naked lady. Now I'm stuck. I got this little old lady sitting here. And I'm thinking, if she looks over and sees this, I'm in trouble. So I grabbed this sheet of music and I turned it like this. Alas, I crumbled it, which means I could no longer turn the pages because they wouldn't turn, which means I had to conduct from memory. I finished that piece of music, and I walked out, and I was so mad. I thought, I'll look up and see who did it, and they were all grinning everywhere. I walked back into a little Sunday school classroom and sat on a tiny little children's chair. I could hear them coming, all 85 of them, jamming themselves into that room, and they got in and closed the door. Not a word was spoken. I looked around this way here, and I said, I don't know where, I don't know when, I don't know who you are who did it, but I will get even. I found the culprit. Tonight I'm going to point him out and I want you to shame him when he stands. Are you ready for this? Tom Berry, could you stand, please?
You guys ever do bus aisle Olympics?
What is that?
Just different events you do on the bus. Like, see how many people you can jam between one seat, from the floor to the ceiling.
That sounds like it could hurt.
I know there's some people hurting on the bottom. Walk the aisle, holding up on the headrest. Only holding onto those as you walk down.
You guys look like you should be drinking Country Time lemonade on a porch somewhere. Holy shit.